district was dissolved, it would revert back to the homeowners association.
And I would like to add, as far as I know, Hillside Lake has always been a private lake, and unfortunately, I think that this sort of action had been taken 20 years ago when we first started planning. It could have been a lot more cost effective, but we are where we're at, and we really need to move on with it. So, but I mean, we could always dissolve the park district, but I think in that case we could dissolve the park district and just go back to the property owners association, and that might be something that, if you would like to do that, that's also an option. So.
Question, you're saying 3.6 million for hydraulic dredging and everything like that. What does that come down to per person?
Well, I'll answer that quickly. I worked out a couple of rough numbers. Depends on the value of your house. It depends on.
Just give me a rough estimate.
Let me see here. Hydraulic, let's say that your total property value was about $300,000. Hydraulic dredging would cost around $735 annual basis. The mechanical dredging, the full mechanical dredging, would end up costing that individual about $510 on an annual basis.
For how many years?
For 30 years. And the mechanical with the reduced size lake would cost about $375.
And how much are you paying now to take care of the lake?
Oh, I'm not sure about
right now. Your taxes on the lake are about 16 cents per thousand. I'll just check. Yeah, because this is for a huge capital project. Right now, your tax rate in 2010 is 16 cents per thousand. So if you have a house worth $100,000, you're paying $16. And basically, what that pays for is, well, it should pay for insurance. It should pay for our crews that mow the field, mow the areas and stuff like that. And one of the things for many years, 3 or 4 years, there were no taxes on Hillside Lake as a separate tax item. But when we saw that we really needed to do something, we started budgeting a little bit more. That's why the tax rate went up. It went from 0 to 5 cents, I believe, in 07 or 08 to so.
That's for the Park District.
That's for Park District only, yep.
My name is Donna Leonard. I'm a resident of Hillside Lake. My question is, and you didn't touch on it tonight, for the houses that do not have septic systems, with the mechanical dredging, who's going to pay for those septic systems to be installed in the homeowners that don't have that now? And is that an option with reduced lake dredging for all homeowners to put in their septic in that property that's now going to be available?
Well, there's a couple of different ways to look at it. I mean, I think people are assuming that every house on the lake, that their septic is leaching into the lake. I don't know if that's absolutely true. It's something we have to look at. But I believe that one of the recommendations or suggestions that came up in one of the earlier meetings was, depending on the type of dredging we did, if we did the full mechanical dredging, we could actually use clay that's on the site to kind of partition off those septics so they wouldn't leach into the lake. They would leach down into the ground where they're supposed to leach. The other issue is we went with the smaller lake project, the 10-acre lake, and there could be barriers installed, to keep it out.
Okay, so if you do the clay around the lake and you block in all their septic, all the waste, and then you have a storm and it's going to rain, run back down into the lake, isn't that going to help deteriorate the lake over time? Again, if it's not addressed now, if it's not fixed.
The answer to that would be yes. And we've had discussions on this. What do you do, say, if the lake is drained and then we see that everybody sees that there's a half a dozen houses that have septics draining directly into it? The idea of using the clay that's in the lake to try to put a berm to stop it is just that. It's going to temporarily stop it. It's not a solution. But what would happen is it is a violation of New York State health law to have septage flowing in your yard, and with or without the lake rehabilitation project, if that is noticed and the health department comes in, they will start to begin the process of working with you, the homeowner, to repair that septic system. So what we would hope that would happen is that when septic systems, and this is with or without a rehabilitation project, failing septic systems are identified, and then the health department will work with those homeowners to try to get an improved system and get something that will work.
So the park district as a whole would not be responsible for paying for that?
No,
Just
the
the homeowner.
property owner would be. I mean, just on that, we did make a grant application during the heyday when all the stimulus money was supposedly available, $500,000 just to replace septic systems around the lake. Unfortunately, we were denied. But shortly thereafter, I think it was after our first meeting, I contacted the Department of Health, which oversees septics, and I just discussed with the woman any issues that we had, and she said, anytime one is identified, certainly give them a call. They would come out, and as Rich said, they would look at the homeowner to make sure it's rectified.
Hello, Michael Wallers. First thing that I'd like to say is I think this type of meeting is a bit premature. You answered my first question, which is who's paying for this? And you telling us that we are all paying for this over here. So my question on that matter is, why do you think we should pay for this as opposed to the town?
Well, this has always been, as far as I can remember, Hillside Lake has always been for the people in Hillside Lake. As a private lake district, I was never, not living in the lake, I was never able to use it. So being the way it is, I'm not sure why that I was never able to use it, except when I lived there. Why would I now have to pay for it? I mean, it seems to me to be a little bit unjust to those of us that weren't able to use the lake.
But the town, and I'll use you as the town, you own the lake.
We own the lake. Tom, would you like to talk a little bit
Then
about
why are
Special
you
Park
asking us
District?
to pay for your process?
It's an established park district, so title is in the town of East Fishkill, but under the law, the town maintains it for the park district. And since it's restricted only to the residents of Hillside Lake, therefore, that's why only those residents pay for it.
Okay, I'd like to pick out a couple of words you mentioned there. The town maintains it. We pay a tax for the town to maintain it. That tax has been paid for 19 years, and nothing has been done. Oh, 5 of those, sorry, 14 years, but that's a big difference.
I'm sorry, what was the question about the taxes there?
Since 1991, we've been paying a tax for the
Some
town.
on and off you have been.
Okay, 14 of those 19 years, we've been paying a tax.
Right.
To
And
maintain
as the
it.
supervisor
The
pointed
first-
out, the tax now is 16 cents per thousand.
Right, but it was $2.98, I believe, in 2001, and $1.99 in 2002, was it? And $2 in one of those
Well, I think they
years.
showed in 2002, there was the borings done and the testing to get ready for the DEC application.
Okay, you do the math, how much was that boring?
And I do believe that back in the 90s, we actually had one of the raking operation coming out of March.
Right. Do you have documentation showing how much we spent on that, who approved that?
When back in the 90s, no, I don't.
I was involved with the soil borings.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I could find records.
This is our park district, we're paying the taxes. We should have public access to that.
You do, you're welcome to file a freedom of information request, identify what years you want. In a reasonable time, you'll be brought back from archives and they'll be available for inspection.
I have asked for that information, I did not receive it.
You haven't, I mean, you've asked me if I had records, and I did not have access to the archives. I mean, certainly I go down to the dungeon or I can request it from Iron Mountain. I'm not sure. I can certainly provide that information. I mean, that's not a problem, but that's public information anytime. I've never seen anybody at a town board meeting when we do budgets, special district budgets. But this is all public information. You're more than welcome to do it. I would have to go back and just find the vouchers that were filed back in whenever this thing was done. It just takes a bit of work to do it.
Will you do that?
I'm glad you stopped by my office one day. We'll sit down and we'll take a look. I'll find out where the information is, and we'll see what years you want, and we'll see how the best you can
I
get.
want back to 1991. I don't have to stop by your office, I just want back to 1991 is the answer.
Yes,
Right, you make a request in writing, freedom of information law.
wait a second. Well, I wouldn't say you have to do that. I mean, certainly, I will find time. What I will do, Michael, is I will get you a time period where I have that available for you. All right, and if that will suit you, I'll tell you what will be available. And we'll certainly take, this is all public information, and you're certainly welcome to it.
Okay, and the point I want to make here is that now you're asking us to pay anywhere from 3.6 million down to 1.6 or whatever that lower number was to remedy where the town has failed for 19 years. we paid a tax for you to fix the lake and to maintain the lake. That has not been done. And we lost the clubhouse in the process due to lack.
I don't believe the clubhouse was lost in the process. Certainly, there was a building that was determined that was had to be demolished because it was unsafe. And I'm not sure if
Due to
that
lack
was.
of maintenance.
I'm not sure. Excuse me.
Due to lack of maintenance.
Was that under the property owners or was that
Yeah,
okay?
it's done in the property owner. Wasn't a
All
property.
right, so maybe it's okay. So I know you want to blame everything on the town.
No,
None of the
I just want
maintenance-
answers, that's
No,
all.
just like that, Michael, none of the maintenance issues happen under the Property Owners Association. Is that correct?
I'm sure they did, I wasn't here
Okay,
then.
but I'd just like to make that note.
But the reason that the decision was made to turn the lake over to the town was it was written in there that the town would remedy the lake and maintain the lake, the swimming area, and all common areas with a tax that would be applied
I
to.
don't think that was the.
You sent that to me, John, it was in the minutes.
No, I'm looking in the minutes at the town board minutes, Michael. Yeah, absolutely. If you would, I have to take some notes here.
What actually happened is the board of directors of the homeowners association came to the town, okay, and said that the homeowners of Hillside Lake were not paying their dues. And would it be at all possible for the town to look into the formation of a park district in order for those dues to come in on a yearly basis? And that's when we had the election at the Hillside Lake Firehouse, and the rules were established. I believe it was one person on the deed got a vote, and it was overwhelmingly voted that they wanted the establishment of the park district in order to replace the homeowners association. And during that time, naturally, not just the clubhouse, and I have to state the clubhouse was actually not a clubhouse then, okay? In many years before that, they had dances and they had Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and it was a viable community center. By the time the town became involved, it was in total disrepair. And eventually, it had to be taken down because it became a violation. It was a safety factor. It was a fire hazard. It was a lot of things. And so it was taken down. I have to say at that time, in terms of the lake itself, you know, the members of the board, okay, were the ones who went out on that lake. Jack Schmidt would turn the lake valve on and off. They would go out there, they would get York rigs. They would do whatever they can to try and maintain the level that Hillside Lake was at that time. Was it pristine? Absolutely not. Were the lily pads still there? It was already going down. But the members of that board went out. Money was spent in, you know, back in those days, you know, for the purchase of a lawnmower, so somebody could mow the around the clubhouse, the beach area. They went out and they, you know, bought flags. I mean, if you look at it, because back in those days, okay,